All right, come on in. Come on all the way in.
Come on in.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Other way.
I'm filming.
The videographer. The videographer. Okay, so is there a front side and a back side? I'm asking questions.
Okay, let me start from the beginning here.
Okay.
Come on in, Kelly. I almost didn't recognize you with your respirator. I was saying, who's this? All right, hold on. Don't go too fast. Don't
Slow
go too
down,
fast
ladies.
here.
She's the girl from outer space.
Now you see what you're doing here? You're adjusting it because you have that on the underside. These pieces, you see how there's a little spring-loaded button over here.
Right here.
And the important thing is when I put this frame together, you can see there's 2 short pieces and 2 long pieces. Let me explain this mechanism here. You see this we call the cam lever. That is something that look when I move this. Watch what it does here.
Oh, it's a lock.
Pushes it out about 1/4 inch. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to put this frame together. I'm going to fit it to the door, and it's going to be my initial fitting. Then I'm going to pull the frame back out, and I'm going to put the skin on it that's in that bag. Now all these mechanisms are going to have to face the inside to me so that they're accessible for me to adjust. See this little knob here? This knob, I just call this a placeholder because look, see, it's moving like this. I just turn that, put a tiny little pressure on there. Now it's locked in place. Don't ever squeeze these things down because it's not. After a tiny little tightening of it, it isn't going to do anything more than split the plastic knob.
Okay.
All right. So then I put this thing together by getting it in the channel. I push that little button down. It locks in there.
This handle's under here.
Up and let's flip it around this way.
Okay.
So all your knobs should be in the same
Yep, they have
side.
to be.
Facing inward.
Okay. Release these cam levers for my initial adjustment. Because if these things are locked, they're also going to keep it from sliding.
Push that button down.
This is going to be my fan support bar. I'm going to hold off on that until I'm getting it in the final position. Now this door has to remain open.
Oh.
Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to move this frame into the door.
Think your boat is getting
And usually what I want to do is I want to put it in the hinge side first because that's where I don't have the same accessibility. And don't be afraid to use your foot like as an extra hand. Look at this. See how I got my foot down there? So I'm stretching my body and making sure it's as tight as possible. Give it a little bit of tension there.
What if it's inside the door jam?
What if it's inside the door jam?
I said it fits inside the door
Yeah,
jam?
it fits right where the door would be.
Alright.
So you're just finger tightening it now. Just, Okay.
You know, if I see any air gaps there, I want to make sure I see why. All right. Now this is my initial fitting. Now pull this skin out. Since I have room here, my method, because I'm not this tall, is I like to lay my skin down on the floor if I have enough room inside the house. And other people, sometimes tall people, they like to stand the frame up and put it over the frame. One time I had a woman about your size in the class, and well, you listen.
You got a stool?
She just took that frame and turned it sideways and did it. I said, it takes a woman to think of a better way to do it.
They
I
use
was
their
thought
brain.
about doing something so simple.
They use their brain.
Okay, now you see both sides of this? There are 2 sides. One side has the Velcro, and that's going to be the side that's going to go to the inside of the house.
Inside, Velcro inside.
Velcro inside.
Just pull on down.
Now, if you were doing a positive versus a negative,
Same setup.
setup would be the same.
Yeah, the only thing that
Okay.
would change is the direction of the fan.
Of the fan. Okay.
Now, do you have can you change the direction of the fan just by a lead button?
I can do that, but I want you to ignore that switch because when this thing operates, It only is designed to really move the air this way. The air is going to move over the fan and help cool it, and then the air is going to go out. If I use that fan reversal switch, which I do for some duct leakage tests, where the test lasts about a minute, I can do that on a short basis. But if I run it for too long in the opposite direction, it'll burn up the motor.
So it's not a universal motor?
No. And that, well, it's just the way that the fan motor is set up. The new models that you would end up getting won't have that switch anymore. They finally said, hey, we're tired of replacing burned out motors. All right, so I'm going to pop this out. Now I already have a nice tight fit, which I know now that when I put this in the second time with the skin, that little extra dimension to this skin is going to make that real tight for me. Look at the bottom here. It's only got a couple of little tabs here, so I'm always going to start out attaching the bottom, and I want to have it about even, so I'm going to flip that over.
Does this have to be tight?
Oh, it doesn't have to be super tight, just casually tight is fine. One time I had this guy, he tried impressing me, he made it like a military bunk, he made it so tight. And I'm going to show you why I don't like it that tight. All right? Again, I'm going to go into the hinge side first. Tapping that to make sure I'm actually sitting in the door frame. See, because I'm up against that door stop right now. Just make, and then I'm going to go to all these levers, lock it in place. This is why they have to be all facing me to the inside.
Now, how could you set that up from the outside like you told Edie you could?
Oh, I couldn't set the whole thing up, but I could be outside as the blower door runs.
Because there's another way to get out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also because the meter that I'm going to be looking at, I don't have to be inside the house while it's running. I could be outside.
Okay.
Not usually done, but it can be done. Here's my fan support. Also, at this point, look, see, I would do this and say, how tight am I? Because when I create suction, it actually wants to suck this door frame back into the house. But this is my last chance here to tighten things up by putting this crossbar in. Now, there's a lot of slots in here, up and down, so try to note the one that I use. I'm really only a couple of inches above this opening here. Because when I mount this fan, it's actually going to be floating into this opening. So what I'm going to do here to stiffen this up, I'm going to pull a little bit sideways, and then I'm going to try to hold it there, tighten my knob, and lock that. Now I'm really solid. This is not going to come out in the middle of my test. All right, now I need to pull my manometer out. And it looks like they've got two in here, so pass the other one around just to look at. There it is. And I'm going to be using two hoses during this test because I'm doing two tests at the same time. All this fan is, people look at the fan, they go, oh, that's the blower. All this is a fan. I'm going to use this as a tool to create a pressure difference in the house. Beyond that, the important thing is this device here is able to do an internal conversion to turn pressure into CFM. Because I'm going to tell this device what I'm using. Basically what I need to do is I need to tell it what size opening am I pulling this air through. This will measure the pressure of the whole operation, but if I don't tell it what the size opening is, it can't make the right calculation.
Meaning the size opening of the size of the fan?
Yes.
Okay.
And that fan has rings on it, so I can restrict the opening. So not only do I have to tell it what the device is, because if I tell it what the device is, it says, oh yes, it's that device that has 4 or 5 possible openings to it. Okay, that's a good starting point.
Is everybody's stuff sitting on that porch going to get blown off? Probably.
No, because we're going the other way.
No, it's going to go out this way, but I don't think there's anything's going to get blown
We're not
off.
running it, I thought.
No drink or nothing?
No, I don't see anything right here.
I got a drink out there.
Are we actually going to turn it on then?
Drink. I don't want to lose it.
Well,
we
then go out
decided
the back
not to.
door and get it.
Okay.
We're gonna be outside the house when he
Oh.
turns it on.
Now this hose is going to be my reference hose. I'm going to be measuring the pressure in the house with relation to outside. So what's
relation to? With relation to.
That's right, WRT. And so what I don't want is when this fan starts blowing the air out, I don't want it to see the end of that tube or else it's going to throw my reading off tremendously. So I'm going to take this hose and I'm going to throw it sideways like that. And I'm going to bring it through one of these two openings here.
You need me to help you do something while I'm out here?
Nope, I'm good. Okay, now I also have in that bag right there is the speed control. No, right there. This is how I'm going to control how fast I make the fan go.
What's our CO now?
I'm at 1. There's one when I got in
You
the
see
car,
this?
too.
I've
I'm at one.
got this little device here. This is actually like the 6th portion of the blower door frame, and it's something that I could hang into one of these slots here, and then use this clamp to clamp onto that. I also could turn this clamp like this and stick it on the end of a door. Now it's got plastic over here and it's got a little soft pad here, but I just want to caution you that if you're going to put it on a door, do not over tighten this because you might actually make a depression in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Take some paint off.
and then you've got somebody saying, "Hey, you got to buy me a new door."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got 2 wires here. One is going to go to the fan. One is going to go to the wall outlet.
Female end, male end.
Actually,
Okay.
they,
Now this, notice I've got 2 different ends here, so I can't make a mistake. One is male and female. Hopefully everyone here knows the difference. And this is also a special kind of plug that does not, this is not like a plug that matches up with this. This is a specific plug that matches up with that equipment. Always make sure that this is off before you plug it in. Okay, now, how do I put this fan in? Well, I've got this thing that I call the skirt. I'm gonna lean the bottom in because that's the hardest part for me to get started. And I'm gonna get the bottom started first. And then once I do that, I slowly lean it forward. And I pull this skirt up kind of like to the middle point there. Because the whole idea here is I don't want any leakage to occur around this. In fact, I guarantee you right now, this setup is way tighter than what this door is. So whatever leakage normally would be going through this door, I'm not really getting an indication from that. If you had a really sloppy front door and you want to know how much leakage is the door accountable for, I would do the test here first, and then I would go do it on another door and see what the difference is.